my name is Ed, and I'm going to be giving you a quick tour of Woyera. Woyera is a data cleaning and QA API. It's a new way to easily clean and quality test your data. It's simple because it abstracts all the pain of data cleaning with a few simple lines of code. And since it's an API, it can be used anywhere in your data pipeline. That's why we like to call it a data filter. So let's get started. There are two calls you can make: analyze, which lets you quality test your data, and clean, which lets you clean your data. The call is very simple to make. Let's start with analyze. You simply include your data in a two-dimensional array, where each item of the array is a row in your original dataset. Let's take a quick look at the original dataset, just so we're familiar. It's a CSV file. It has title, name, address, date of birth, total spent, and notes. And you simply pass that in your request body along with your access key and secret key, and make a post call to the API. Let's run it. Since it's a REST API, it uses standard HTTPS codes. 200 is okay, so things went well. And that lets us get to the fun part. So after you make the analyze call, the results can be viewed in your analyze tab. Here, we pick the API call that we want to see. And in this case, things went well, it was a success. Immediately, Woyera lets us know our data health score. So it's still computing it, and it is an 83. It's out of 100, so we're doing okay, but things could be better. This is computing using the number of defects and the severity of the defects. Those are the two variables that go into it. Here we can see some quick stats about the data. This data is small, but we handle big data as well. Size doesn't matter to us. Now, defects in data can be found in each column or across rows. Let's first take a look at the columns. This is our column name, and we can cycle through the columns simply. Let's start from the beginning, from title. Here we see some quick stats about the column. It's categorical, how many values it has, how many missing values it has, and how many unique values it has. We have an option to look at the defects or the values of the column. So let's start with the defects. First, we see that 20 values are lowercase while the rest were title case. Here we can see those values. Same thing with pattern. 20 values had the following non-alphanumeric character, a period, while the rest do not. And the missing values, 292 were missing with null. And to get the full picture, then we can go to the values tab. And here we see the table of all the different values. And as you can see, these were title case and these were lowercase. And we can also see a spread of them using a graph. Again, null is very high, and the rest, title case being really high, these being small. So going through the columns, let's check out other different defects that Woyera detects. Here we have extra white space, which is just a nuisance. Addresses, these were invalid. Again, missing values. Date of birth, this column had 3 different types of date formats. It is a date column. Again, missing values. Total spent, this column is categorical, but all values contain money amounts. So this is kind of a warning that if you want to change this, a lot of people like using a decimal to represent money. We can see the spread again just to check it out. Cool. Notes, these values have this pattern while the rest didn't. And 10 values of potential spelling mistakes. So for some defects, Woyera also provides you suggestions on what could be improved. And here they are. Again, missing values, a lot of null. And these are the kind of defects that Woyera detects. This list that we just saw, it's not exhaustive. We have more that we detect, and you can read our guide in the API section to learn more. So now that we have understood the defects and gotten a full picture of our data, for some of you, this might be enough. But we can go a step further and clean all of these defects that Woyera found. To clean the defects, we have to call the cleaning API. The difference in the clean and analyze is that the cleaning API needs to be passed a set of cleaning classes. These classes can be applied to all the data or to each column individually. Now, what are classes? They're simply a collection of cleaning functions that you can build using our UI, and they get applied to the data as you specify. So let's create one. The first thing I want to do is I want to remove missing values. They were null, so let's see. Usually I would remove the rows, but the team that I'm working with for this project, they want them replaced with blanks. So I'm going to do that. And I want this to apply to all the classes. So I'm just going to give it a name, replace blanks, save it, and it was saved. Cool. And now we'll make classes for each column. So let me check really quickly on the defects of the title column. They were lowercase, the rest were title case, so we want to make everything title case, and we want to remove alphanumeric characters. Sweet. So I'll go back to my clean class. First, I want to make everything title case, first letter uppercase. I don't want to trim white space for this one because there weren't any. And then I also want to remove characters. Okay, cool. Remove special characters. Add function. Wait, hold on. Let me just check. Well, oh, these remove these special characters. We actually wanted to remove all alphanumeric characters, which are this. So let me go back and just change that really quickly and easily. Cool. So now we know order matters when applying functions. And you can choose the order by simply making your functions go up or down. And that's it. So now let's save this class. We want to give it a name title. Cool. Class was saved. Now I'm going to create classes for the rest of the columns. They will be to clean and validate addresses, to trim white space, standardize dates, change types of columns, correct spelling. This part is sped up, by the way. I wish I could type that fast. Cool. Now that our classes are done, we can check them out in the Your Classes. Here we see the different parameters that they have. We can edit them if we want. We don't have to right now, so let's get out of this. And now we call the clean API. So first we have to specify the classes, all clean for things that we want to apply to all of the data, and call clean for each individual column. So now that we have the data specified, the classes specified, we're ready to go and get our clean data. So we simply run our post call again with these classes. We see that everything worked well, and voila, we get our clean data as a result. And this is why we call Woyera a data filter. You call the API with your dirty data, with your classes, and you get the clean data back. Wherever in your data pipeline you need it, you can adjust it. We can also look at the cleaning call in our analytics dashboard. Here we see that this is a clean API request versus our analyze earlier. The layout is similar. So here we see the health score and it's improved. Awesome. Our rows and columns stayed the same. We didn't remove anything. And we can go through each column to see what was changed. Missing values were replaced with blanks. Values had their first letter capitalized. They had their characters removed, and we can see exactly what happened. We can also take a look at the spread in the values tab in both the table and this graph format. We can go through each column to see what happened. Here the white spaces were removed. There were no missing values, so nothing happened there. In addresses, again, missing values were replaced because we applied that to everything. And addresses were normalized. Here we can see, okay, W got changed to Way, Corp Christi, Kingsport had Tennessee added to it. Going forward, date of birth, 587 dates were formatted to the best format, YYYMMDD. And in case you don't agree, we do provide other options for you to change your date to. Cool, we can take a look at every single value that got changed as a result. Going forward, our total spent is converted from money to decimal. We can see here that the type was decimal too. In notes, missing values were replaced, patterns were modified, spellings were fixed. That's Woyera, a data cleaning and QA API. You can use it to prevent dirty data from entering your systems, clean it right after extraction before sending it downstream, or just use it to QA and check your data's health. Now, on a super serious note, we do take data privacy very seriously. So it's in our terms and conditions that we don't own any of your data. We do store some of it to show you the visualization in the Analyze tab. However, if you or your team's requirements are that data can't be stored anywhere else, you can uncheck and simply interact with our API to pass the data and get the clean data back as a result. You can read more about it in our documentation on how the API works. We're currently in private beta, so if you're a developer or a data scientist, please sign up and we'll let you know when there's a spot on the waitlist open. If you're an organization and you have custom needs, feel free to contact us and we'll be happy to work with you to build a custom API. Thank you for listening and hope you have a nice day wherever you are.